referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand in officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know that they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we can teach our students. This message has been brought to you by the Sandpoint Student Advisory Council, your friends at Sandpoint High School, and the Idaho High School Activities Association. Idaho Stadium and War Memorial Field for tonight's varsity playoff football game featuring the visiting Mountain Home Tigers and your Sandpoint Bulldogs. Before we get to tonight's action, will you all please rise for the playing of our national anthem?
So who's Garrison? Who's a Garrison? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you are showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscious effort, you'll be helping our students grow into better citizens. This message was brought to you by the students of the statewide Student Advisory Council, your friends at the Idaho High School Activities Association, and Sandpoint High School.
Who's the commentator?
Starters for the Tigers, beginning with number 7, senior Caden Sykes. Number 8, junior Lauren Wright. Number 10, senior John Eulis. Number 21,
1, senior Damian Figgett. Number 24, junior John Tetrault. Number 28, junior Dimitri Smith. Number 30, junior James Sable. Number 32, senior Taylor Pearson. Number 42, sophomore Cade King. Number 55, senior Gunnar Clark. And number 77, senior Griffin Steigelmeyer. Head coach Jim Park and the rest of the Mountain Home Tigers. And now the offensive starters for your Bulldogs. Starting at number 1, junior Cody Newhart. And number 5, sophomore Max Frank. And number 9, junior Parker Pettit. And number 10, junior Ari Vandenberg. Number 11, senior Lasse Kuhn. And number 13, senior Gerrit Cox. And number 53, junior Ben Stockton. And number 55, junior Carson Labor. And number 62, senior Matt Chapman. And number 67, junior Austin Smith. And number 77, junior Wyland Toro. And Coach Ryan Knowles with the rest of the Sandpoint Bulldogs. Tonight's officials are head linesman Mason Tweet, referee Neil Peterson, umpire Mike Gove, back judge Mike Martin, and line judge Jim Buckles.
Getting ready to give Lascoon the ball so the Bulldogs can get this 4A state playoff game underway. First round action. There's some scores across the state. We'll tell you about those as the evening wears on. as most of the games are an hour ahead of us, obviously, with the Mountain Time Zone differential, although the Pocatello game is starting in 15 minutes. Must be a TV thing. And this is going to come 3/4 of the way through the end zone. And at the 20-yard line is where Mountain Home will get things started here as they come out. And Jay, talking to Coach Knowles, talking to Coach Benefield this week, you're going to get a lot of direct snaps to one of two guys and runs up the middle. They like to keep it between the tackles.
Yeah, that means hey, the defensive front. I know we're going to mix some things up front there with two defensive tackles and you got a Will Backer and a defensive end. So we're going to stack the line of scrimmage a little bit more than what you'd normally see against this Bulldog defense. But look for both the linebackers, Wimmer and Benefield, to have big nights.
Okay, well, I don't know how good the quarterback is as they hand it off around the end, and the guy running trips over his lineman, although it wasn't going anywhere anyway. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Gus Winnings is the quarterback, number 17. So he's got that going for him, which is nice.
Yeah, nothing happened there as he comes in motion all the way across the field, try to get the edge, and he's just tripped up by his own guy. They're able to get back to the line of scrimmage, but no gain on that play.
So here we go, up to 2nd down and 10. Near side hash, once again, 2 backs in the backfield. This one is a snap directly to the running back that goes for maybe 1 or 2 up the middle. That was the running back number 32, Taylor Pearson.
Yeah, again, just a direct snap to him, and he tried to take it off that right side, Chris. And, good job just on that left side between Cheryl and McElroy and Joseph Hughes, and they really just stuff it up and allow Wimber to come up and make a tackle.
And this is, I believe, where you're going to want these guys, right? 3rd and long. So that's what we're facing. 3rd down. It's going to be 9. Fake handoff. They throw a pass out into the flat. It's incomplete. So it's a 3 and out for Mountain Home, and they'll punt it away to the Bulldogs, so we'll get pretty good field position.
Boy, just a quick little slant there, and Kobe Bartlett does a great job of reacting on that football, and the ball thrown a little high but catchable, and it just goes right through the intended receiver's hands, and it falls incomplete. The Bulldogs defense does a great job forcing a punt here in 3rd down or 4th down on a long 9.
The snap is back. The kick is up and away. It's going to hit the ground, and Cox is going to let it roll wisely as it goes all the way down inside the 25-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at that point.
Boy, a low snap came back there. Good job by the punter for Mountain Home. Is he able to field it? But he gets it off, and he kicks a low liner, and the ball just rolls, lands about the 43, 44-yard line, and rolls all the way into the Bulldogs 20, about the 24. They're going to mark it at 25 here, Chris. Bulldogs offense on the field here to start their first series, led by Parker Pettit. Parker Pettit's got Gerrit Cox off to his right. His full receivers, you got Newhart, Frank, Vandenberg, and Kuhn in the doubles situation here. As Parker takes a snap, he's going to hand it off to Cox up the middle. He's able to get free through the first line of scrimmage and pick up 4 yards on that 1st down carry there. A nice job by Gerrit Cox making the first guy miss and picks up some positive yardage.
Had a pretty nice tackle, too, as well in the secondary there for Mountain Home. So 2nd down, they give him 4. It's 2nd and 6 as Pettit looks to the sidelines. Cox standing right beside him. Now he shifts up. Bulldogs. Parker Pettit about the 24. Another handoff to Cox up the middle. This one not much doing. Right back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Yeah, trying to run right there, right behind Stockton, the center, and Laybourne, and that time just a little pinch on that defensive front by Mountain Home. Nowhere for Cox to go to, and puts the Bulldogs in a 3rd down and 6. Not a bad situation here, but still, you'd like to see some little bit better yards on that gain there by Gerrit Cox in that offensive line.
So third down, Bulldogs looking to keep the chains rolling. Pettit back, throws it out. It's caught by Newhart, who's wide open. He stutter steps. He cuts inside, and he's beaten by the one man who could keep him from going to the house. And the Bulldogs get a first down, and they are out across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, pretty simple. Mountain Home playing off about 15 yards on Newhart, who's lined up in the slot position, the wide receiver, and he's able just to break off a little 5-yard out, make the first guy miss, and picks up a nice gain about 14 yards on that third down conversion. The Bulldogs at their own 46. Bulldogs in the that wing T offense, everybody bunched in there.
Handoff up the middle again. Cox driving forward, gets about 4 on this one, and it's going to be second down and 6.
The Bulldogs going back to that, this series that it's worked so well at Post Falls. They haven't had a whole lot of success, since then, Chris. But they do a good job up front that time of making some nice blocks, and he's able to get 4 yards. Bulldogs second and 6. Pettit takes a snap, hands it off to Cox, who tries to get it out of the right side, and he stood up, still fighting, but he's going to get forward progress out to maybe a half a yard out towards the 50, maybe the 49 of Mountain Home, but really nothing happened there for Gerrit Cox. Mountain Home does a great job of wrapping him up. Cox is a tough guy to wrap up, Chris, and that time they were able to stop him for no gain. As the Bulldogs again, third down and 6 here.
So this time Pettit has Cox slide to his right and just about a yard behind him. Bulldogs with 4 wides on third down, run the option. Pettit keeps it. He goes up the middle. He runs into a wall. It's going to be fourth down and 3. And I think the Bulldogs, Jay, what do you think? Go for this one?
Oh, I think they got to go for it. They're gonna punt it away here. Be a little conservative here to start this. First drive, it was the defensive end crashed so hard on Parker Pettit there on that option play, and if he tosses it out to Gerrit Cox, it's a touchdown. But Parker just didn't pick up that defensive end quick enough, and he ends up keeping it and gets stopped just after a 3-yard gain.
So here we go with a fourth down and a punt, and Sherrill punts it high. It's going to hit inside the 20 and roll out of bounds as the receiver doesn't even attempt to go near it. So it's going to be first down for Mountain Home, just outside, what is that, about the 14-yard line, it looks like?
Yeah, I think it looks about the 13, it looks like. Nice punt there by Blake Sherrill. It's good to have him back, punting duties, tonight. And he's getting to play a little defensive line now, too. He looks like he's 100% healthy and ready to rock and roll.
So Mountain Home comes back out on offense. Their second possession, they went 3 and out first time around. Again, the quarterback, Winnings, fakes the handoff, throws it into the slot. It's dropped, hit immediately as they were trying to get that one, it looked like, to Xavion Parker. And Parker, they hit him on the hands. He just couldn't corral it.
Yeah, pretty good. Well, little play action fake. He fakes the handoff to the running back off to the right side, Chris, and he pulls it and throws a quick slant to Parker, and really well thrown ball, but just unable to hold on to it.
So second down and 10 coming up for Winnings in the offense. Winnings, that snap I believe went to the tailback that time, 32. Nope, it was Winnings. Sorry. As they stand right next to each other, and no gain on the play.
Yeah, again, trying to run off the left side. Again, a good job by McElroy, and looked like Ballison is doing a good job just getting off their blocks. They plugged the holes and stop Winnings for no yards on that gain.
So third down and 10. Mountain Home in the huddle and out.
Third down 9 here, long situation here. The Bulldogs in a good spot here to get off the field and force a punt.
So Winnings now sends a man in motion, drops back, throws it on the out. It's wide open. It's tackled at the 21. That's going to be just short of the first down, I think. Wimmer with a first down saving tackle right there from behind.
Boy, I tell you, that looked like a big play there happening for Mountain Home as Wimmer, that's his key. He's got the running back out of the backfield, and and boy, he sprints out there, but he's able to make up ground on the intended receiver, and really makes a nice tackle from behind, a shoestring tackle to bring the Mountain home and force him to punt here at 4th and 3.
Yeah, winning's not only the quarterback but the punter. Snap is back, kick is off. It's a liner that's sort of going to be taken by Cox at the 40. Makes a guy miss. He's at the 45, at the 50. He's got a wall
play.
at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He needs a one block, and he's not going to get it, but the Bulldogs have a first down and 10 inside the 15. What a well set up return there after Gerrit Cox made the first guy miss.
Boy, he looked like he was trapped between two guys, but he makes the first guy miss and gets that wedge out the left side, the near side, the Sandpoint's bleacher side. And, boy, a big wall of blockers, and he's able to return it all the way down to the Mountain home 13-yard line. First big play of the night here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs set up on the doorstep. And now they come to the football to get this second possession off and rolling. Bulldogs in a fine field position inside the 20. Pettit hands it off to Cox. He's to the outside. He's at the 10. He breaks it to farther outside. He's at the 5. It looks like they're going to knock him out at about the 1. They'll say 2. That should be good enough for a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just running it wide off the left side. He gets the corner. Good blocking, by Darrell out to that left side, Chris. And then looked like Max Frank doing a good job on his cornerback blocking, and allows Cox to pick up a big gain. And the Bulldogs look to put some points here on the board at the 2-yard line.
Sandpoint trying to get things rolling here and get on the scoreboard first. Then we've got flags fly in Bulldogs. Oh, no, they're going to say it's defensive offsides, looks like.
Yeah, just a nice hard count there by Parker Pettit, and they're trying to guess it and really find out. And boy, the Bulldogs are get that extra 1 yard.
So 1st and goal now from the 1. See if the Bulldogs have any better luck from the 1-yard line than the football team I watched last night. Cox is into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Bulldogs go up 6-0. 4:34 left here in this first quarter of play. Sandpoint strikes first blood.
Hey, not a lot of push up there up front by that left side behind Carson Laybourne, but it was just enough to allow Cox to basically just go over the top and get in the end zone as the Bulldogs strike first here tonight, Chris.
So the extra point attempt is forthcoming. Snap good, hold good, kick through the uprights. Bulldogs lead at 7-0. We'll take time out and be back after this on North Idaho's radio and Rock 103.
Don't you love your Bulldogs? This game is being audio streamed to the world live on the internet at idahosports.com. If you have friends or family that can't be at this game, give them a call, tell them to listen to the game live from anywhere on idahosports.com.
Jalapenos is open.
Touchbacks.
It's impressive too. It's not even. A lot of guys have that line drive stuff. Chris,
Yeah.
That does. This carries. These kicks are up above
That's
the
right.
goalpost.
Yeah.
You got NFL goalposts down there. That ball is in the air, and boy, Lascoon, he's impressive.
He's got a future as a college kicker somewhere if he wanted to be one.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to put some time in with him, kicking field goals. He's not our field goal kicker, but boy, the kid's it's an impressive leg. Absolutely.
All right, so here comes Mountain Home for their third possession. So far, they've yet to taste a first down. This is a handoff coming to the near side, and it goes nowhere. In the backfield, snuffed out by the Bulldogs, led by big shocker Wes Benefield.
Yeah, again, just slow developing, and the Sandpoint has got some speed, and at pretty much every position. Levi Baus is probably one of the fastest kids. He's our defensive tackle. He's strong. He's the strongest kid in the weight room. You got Blake Sherrill, who's a small guy stature, but plays a lot bigger than he is. And then you got your linebackers with Wimmer and Benefield. Those guys can fly around, and boy, if anything that's going to take a little long, slow developing, boy, good luck, because these guys can fly around and read the play and make some big plays.
So Winnings once again. This time, back to pass. He's going to pass it. He drops it. Ball's loose on the ground. I think Winnings may have come up with it. He did. But he went to cock his arm, and the ball came out. And so it's going to be third down now. And things going from bad to worse for the old Mountain Home Tigers.
Yeah, he's just looking off. He's got the wide side of the field out there. We've got a safety over the top. He's looking to that left side where there's two receivers, and one's going to be flying straight down the field, and he's looking to get it out to the outside. And boy, just never really develops for that quarterback, and he's just swarmed under by a host of Bulldogs.
Yeah, he was super fortunate to come back on to the football. So once again, Gus Winnings, the junior quarterback, back to pass. Slings one sidearm over the head of his intended receiver. Would have been good for a first down, intended for number 18, it looks like Gage Buckley. And it's incomplete. And for the third straight possession, not happening for Mountain Home. Bulldogs should get excellent field position once again.
Yeah, boy, he was open too. He just didn't find the ball soon enough as he was open coming down that seam, Chris. And the Bulldogs kind of gave him some room to make a play, and that ball just went right through his hands. Could have been a big play for Mountain Home.
Here's a kick that's a nice high spiral, going to be taken at the 50-yard line. And Cox right up the middle drives into the territory of Mountain Home. Gets about 6-7 yards on the return, and it'll be a first down for the Bulldogs already across midfield.
Boy, good job there by Gerrit Cox. Makes a nice catch. 49-yard punt return the last time they punted it, and that one there, little higher. But, boy, Mountain Home does a great job. Just going to make – you're not getting outside. We're going to force you to run it up the middle. And Gerrit Cox does a great job of just tucking his head down, putting his shoulder pads down, and picks up 7 yards on that return. The Bulldogs here on their own on Mountain Home's 45-yard line.
So the Bulldogs have Kuhn, Vandenberg, and – Max Frank on the far side has 3 of the 4 wide receivers, and there's a handoff, though, up the middle, and it's a nice run this time for Gerrit Cox. He gets about 8. Cody Newhart, the other receiver out there, and so it'll be second down and about 2 for the Bulldogs at the 37-yard line of Mountain Home.
Yeah, good job right there. Gerrit Cox off that left side behind Laybourne and Durrell, and he's able to cut it back across the seam, but runs into a couple tacklers from Mountain Home, but a nice gain there on first down.
Pettit back to pass, looking deep, going deep. He's got a man out there. It is caught and dropped. Incomplete at about the 3-yard line, going for Max Frank, and a beautifully thrown football there by Parker Pettit.
Those are tough catches, but that's a pretty well-thrown football down to the 5-yard line. And he throws it to that sideline where only Max Frank can come up and make that tackle. But he's got to look over his shoulder. It looked like he had it there for a second, Chris, but that's a really well-thrown football there by Parker Pettit.
So third and short. Bulldogs leading at 7-0. We'll get you a scoring update here. This scoring update, as the Bulldogs feign the snap, is brought to you by Sun Rental. Proud supporters of the Bulldogs since 1979. They rent everything under the sun. Pettit looking, throwing, got a man. It's Vandenberg. He's brought down immediately, but he's inside the 30 and down to the 28. So on the catch, Ari gets the first down, and the Bulldogs have another nice gain.
Yeah, moving to change. I love what Coach Thielbart done here so far tonight and last week. It's just taking what the defense gives you. At that time, Vandenberg was a nice little 8-10 out, and a pretty well-thrown football again by Parker Pettit. Vandenberg holds on to, gets tackled immediately, but enough for the Bulldog first down.
So the Bulldogs come in tight, run their veer thing here, hand it off to Frank around the edge. He's got room. He's at the 30. He gets a block. He's at the 20, and he's going to be run out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That's the the best play out of that formation since Post Falls.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and Frank's carried the ball maybe only 2 or 3 times prior to that time. But that time, everybody keying on Cox is in that time. Parker Pettit gives it to Max Frank, who he's a very good runner in open space. He's able to get the corner and pick up big gain, big yardage, and the Bulldogs looking to put some more points here on the board again.
Must be something about the orange and black uniforms of the opponent that makes this successful. There's Cox up the middle. He's into the end zone, and he just busts it right through for 14. Practically untouched, and the Bulldogs take a 13-0 lead over Mountain Home with 1:37 left in the first quarter.
And I just love it. You know, they show their normal set, and then they get right into that big formation.
It causes some confusion.
And it causes confusion, and the coaches for Mountain Home, defense coaches, can't adjust quick enough, and boy, it just leaves a nice hole off to the left side again behind Durrell and Laybourne, and a big touchdown here for Cox.
Another extra point up and good. And the Bulldogs lead it now 14-0. And this scoring update's brought to you by Jalapenos Mexican Restaurant. For the finest Mexican food on 2nd Avenue in Sandpoint, now with a convenient pickup window, Jalapenos Mexican Restaurant. Just so happens I had my dinner at Jalapenos this evening.
Gosh, whatever happened to those days where you guys used to feed me before games when I
Who loves those Bulldogs?
Evening, so the wife and I had dinner since we hardly ever see each other these days.
That's why, you got to take some time for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you do start your days at 3 in the morning, Monday through Friday. So
a little nap today always helps.
That's good. Yeah, you're getting up there.
Yes, I am.
Naps start to come into play, huh? Another kick.
Another kick and another
That's
one.
going to go almost through the goalpost.
Almost. It lands nearly on the end line all the way down at the north end of the field as the Bulldogs are headed from right to left in their very traditional home red jerseys, the white pants, the red helmets with the Bulldog paw on the side, numbers on the opposite side of the helmets. Smart looking uniforms. I like these better than the gray ones personally.
Well, I like the gray ones for a little bit of splash, but boy, traditional red and white, that's who we are, man. We're the Bulldogs, and pretty sharp looking guys tonight. And off to a 14-0 lead here with 1 minute and 37 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Boy, and Mountain Home not at one first down yet. Really, just haven't really. I don't even think they have any positive yards, just so to speak.
They run the fumble Rooski. That's how bad it is for Mountain Home.
What?
They did. They ran the fumble Rooski right up the middle for 3. That's their best play so far. How many times is that going to work?
That's interesting. Yeah, I completely missed that play, Chris, but it's just behind that post. But hey, they pick up 4 yards. They're looking for anything to get this, pick up a first down here early in this match.
Yeah, the quarterback just spun and pretended to hand off while someone else picked up the football and grinded it forward for 4. So 2nd down and 6. Winnings throws it out. It's almost intercepted. Would have been 6. And a nice play to jump in front of that one for the Bulldogs from their new safety. Yeah, Coda Hartley. Oh, he had delusions of grandeur there because he thought he was going to the house. He read it perfectly.
Boy, that was a great jump on that by Coda Hartley. And again, sees the quick out to that trip to that right side, Chris, and boy, the ball just goes through his hands and falls incomplete. Now Mountain Home here stuck in a 3rd down and long situation again. 3rd and 6 here on their own 33-yard line. Or 23-yard line, excuse me.
Yeah, 23, almost a 24-yard line. They need to get across the 30. It's 3rd down. They're going deep. There is a man out there, but the pass is behind and wide to the left of the intended receiver. Once again, trying to get it out to number 18 on Mountain Home. And that sidearm delivery, not too accurate, Jay.
Boy, yeah, just a little bit of pressure, too. The Bulldogs, just that front four, they're not blitzing it at all, Chris, but that front four is able to really just kind of get a nice push into that backfield, and the quarterback just not trusting it and unloads a little bit sooner than he wanted to, and the ball falls way incomplete.
There's a low liner to the far side that's going to be gathered up by Cox. He heads up the sideline and going to be bumped out at the 45 of Mountain Home. So the Bulldogs playing downhill so far have had have they run a play in their own end of the field yet?
Well, just that first series there, the punt went down all the way down and went near the 20-yard line, Chris. But quickly the Bulldogs got it across midfield. Mountain Home's six runs so far, and a net of only 2 yards here in the first quarter with 40 seconds to play. The Bulldogs defense really has their number so far.
So here comes the offense back on with 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Bulldogs already up 14-0, looking to advance through the state playoffs. Pettit fakes it, throws it on the far side for Frank, who gets a great block on the outside by Vandenberg. Frank's at the 30, he's at the 25, he's knocked down at the 21. I think that's the first time we've seen that particular play, Jay, but it worked to perfection.
Boy, yeah, again, just this good blocking there by Vandenberg. He's the inside receiver, and, good job by Parker Pettit. Kind of steers that free safety off for a second, and then boom, quick throw out to Frank, and boy, a good block by Vandenberg, and then Frank just uses his speed and his wheels. He's a great athlete as a sophomore, picks up big play for the Bulldogs.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, back to pass. Pettit looking all day. Now he's going to run. He's at the outside at the 20. There's a big block on the inside by Frank. Out of bounds at about the 15. So it's going to be 2nd down after the gain of 6 and 4.
Yeah, Parker Pettit just really looking to his left side there as he's got Newhart coming across the field. Vandenberg going the opposite way, and he's looking at Newhart and Frank coming back to that short side of the field, and nobody's open. And a smart play by Parker Pettit.
Pettit this time throws it out to Frank, trying to make a guy miss, can't, and it's going to be a completed pass for a -1 yard. It's going to be 3rd down now and about 5 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just too many guys there. It's just Frank and Vandenberg off to that left side, short side of the field, and Vandenberg picks up one guy, but Frank had to make that one guy miss, and Mountain Home does a great job of making a tackle.
Well, the Bulldogs will try and score at the other end of the field here as we head to the second quarter. Bulldogs lead at 14-0. We'll be back on North Idaho's radio and Rock 103 after this.
Here we go.
For more than 30 years. Jay?
Oh, it's just great. They bring Vandenberg in motion. He just kind of shuffles in there, and then he gets kind of up through the middle of that second level. And what a great job of blocking by Ben Stockton, Carson Laybourne, and Durrell. Allows Cox to get to the second level, and then Vandenberg kicks out the linebacker, who's this guy, and then Cox reads the block, and he goes untouched into the end zone. Boy, a great play design there against this defense of the Mountain Home.
That extra point is up, and it is good for no good. It missed wide right, I guess. So 20-0 Bulldogs, and it's the only thing that hasn't gone the Bulldogs' way so far. So across the state in the 4A playoffs right now, of course, last night we had Skyline just put up a heck of Lakeland jumped out big. And
it was a great game up till about a minute left in the third quarter, and then Lakeland turned the ball over. Skyline was able to go up 21-14 going into the fourth quarter, and then a pick six not too long after that made it 28-14, and things really unraveled for Lakeland after that. That game was really close all the way up until that fourth quarter, but then Skyline kind of took advantage of 3 turnovers late in that fourth quarter, and was able to put some more points on the board. But the game was a lot closer than what the score indicates.
Well, right now we've got Bishop Kelly up on Twin Falls at the half, 28-14. Blackfoot's beating Middleton at the half, 28-16. In the third quarter, it's Napa over Emmett, 27-14. That might be that's an upset in the making right there.
Absolutely.
If that just keeps up. The winner of this game will play Shelley and Preston. And it's been in the first quarter for a long time, so this isn't exactly that updated. But Shelley was leading 21-7, and Valley View's up over Minico right now, 22-9. That would be another just major upset.
Who's up on Minico?
Valley View, 22-9. As the kick comes and for once doesn't make it into the end zone. Must have been into whatever wind we have. And there's a return that doesn't make it to the 20-yard line, only the 15.
Yeah, you just look at that flag. That flag's, it's
it's a pretty
motion.
good win. Yeah,
it's a pretty good win, and that one is fielded about the 1-2 yard line, and and the Bulldogs kickoff coverage does a great job. Makes a nice tackle there at the 15-yard line. So even better for the Bulldogs. As that ball hangs up in the air, allows that kick coverage team to get downfield and stop the returner for about a 13-yard return on that.
Boy, if you're Mountain Home at this point, you're down 20-0. You're just at the start of the second quarter. You've yet to get a first down, and your whole offense is our quarterback and our fullback run it up the middle, which is literally running it into the strength of the Bulldogs defense.
Absolutely.
Right into all those linebackers. You're in big trouble.
You're in big trouble. The Bulldogs, the schedule speaks for itself, right, Chris?
Yep.
You're playing against, Lewiston, Post Falls, Lake City, Coeur d'Alene. And, Homedale is a very good football team. And,
yes, they are.
That speed, the speed. And where the Bulldogs have really given up a lot of yards is just that speed back and catching the Bulldogs looking inside and able to get that corner. That's really – but anything up the middle against Bulldogs has really not been very successful.
It hasn't. And there was a run for one up the middle. So they tighten up even more. They sling a pass out. It's the first completed pass of the night, a missed tackle out to the 23-yard line. So for the first time – this evening, the third down going to be a short one, completed outside to James Sable, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2 for the for the Tigers here. And Jay, I hate to say it, but with 10:45 left in the first half, I think they're in 4-down territory.
Yeah, I don't know, Chris. A lot of things can happen here, but at that time, just a quick little hitch there to James Sable, Chris, and they get the ball out quickly. The quarterback Wining's able to deliver it to Sable, and Barlow comes up and he's right there to make the tackle, but Sable's able to break away and pick up a few extra yards after the catch. But still, Mountain Home looking for their first down.
Run up the middle, and they're still looking for their first down. Quarterback Winnings takes it and gets back to the line of scrimmage and then just gets buried under. So it's going to be 4th down now. They'll give him a yard almost. So it's going to be 4th and 1.5.
Yeah, I don't see them. A lot of these guys are on punt team too, so you don't see too many substitutions. But and the quarterback's a punter, but it looks like they're gonna punt it here. And the Bulldogs got to be careful. Maybe look for the fake here. Again, is it desperation time here for Mountain Home, or are they going to try to play it straight up here?
Well, they appear to be playing it straight up. Of course, playing it straight up really hasn't worked for them so well. And there's a snap, and we've got a flag down, a timeout, which is probably a good thing because the snap was a grounder that went past Winnings. So they call timeout here on 4th down. It's 20-0 Bulldogs with 9:34 left in the first half. This scoring update brought to you by 7B TV, your authorized dish retailer, locally owned and operated and ready to help you. Proudly sponsoring Bulldog Sports, 7B TV.
Yeah, interesting timeout here called by Mountain Home with on this 4th down, and it looks like a long one, Chris. And just maybe trying to calm the guys down a little bit and stay focused on the task here at hand, but. In a situation like this, you think, are they changing their mind here, or are they going to maybe try to do some razzle-dazzle? You just don't know.
I will refer you to their scores from the last 2 or 3 weeks. So they have, again, they lost 45-0 last week, 54-19 to Twin Falls, 36-18 to Canyon Ridge. So they're in a what I would call familiar position, and being that it's a playoff game, I guess maybe they're still going to punt it away, but you have yet to get a first down. You got a 4th and 1.
You know, and they've ran 15 plays for a net of 11 yards, so it's not like they're picking up a yard a play. So that's a nice punt there.
It is a great punt, and it's going to roll out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over. So a great punt by the quarterback/punter, Winnings, and it's a 20-0 lead for the Bulldogs. And the offense is back on the field, and after a punt on their first possession, they've hit pay dirt 3 straight times.
They have after the first punt, Chris, and they're up 20-0 here. Just still got 9 minutes to play, over 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter, and really the Bulldogs having their way on both sides of the ball against this Mountain Home team.
So the Bulldogs come out, and it's Cox standing right there with Parker Pettit. Just to his left, Bulldogs with the 4 wides. Newhart in the slot in the far side. Pettit back to pass, looking, and he's going to be snowed under, and he's going to be sacked. He looked to step up and run, but he stepped up right into a host of Mountain Homians, and it's going to be a loss of 3.
Yeah, that time just it looked like he just didn't have not much time to look. He had a couple receivers open, and Vandenberg on the quick curl there in the middle of the field, but just not enough time for Parker Pettit. As that time, that defensive line front got a nice push against this the offensive line against the Bulldogs, and their first big play tonight defensively.
So that makes it a 2nd down and 13 for the Bulldogs.
Look for Newhart on the inside. He's going to be one-on-one coverage. You can see him going on a fly here.
Pettit back. They look it deep. They've got someone on the fly. It's not Newhart. It's Las Kuhn. And Kuhn is dragging his defender with him down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, big play there by Kuhn. Is again, you're looking for that one. No safety
almost
deep.
60 yards.
And, boy, they allow Kuhn, who lines up to this near side wide, and Newhart breaks it off a curl. Gets 2 guys' attention, allows Kuhn to work on that deep slant, and a perfectly thrown ball by Parker Pettit. Kuhn that time able to reel it in. He struggled with a few drops here,
yep.
But perfectly well thrown ball. There's no way he could drop that. And big play for the Bulldogs here on 3rd down.
No, that was literally dropped right into the old breadbasket. A beautiful throw by Pettit. Another first down for the Bulldogs, and after a couple of plays, they're set up on the doorstep of Mountain Home once again. Cox gets the handoff. He breaks a tackle. He's dragging guys inside the 10. That's going to be a first down to the 4-yard line. So from the 23 to the 4, another 19-yard gain for the Bulldogs. And they are closing in on making this a 4-score game with under 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
Boy, really not a whole lot of resistance there as the Bulldogs. Theobar's taking what the defense gives them, and some big plays in that time. Again, just seeing no safety deep. It's a good running formation up the middle, and Cox able to go off that right side, pick up some huge yards, get some blocking downfield by his receivers, and Bulldogs looking to put another one on the board.
Pettit hands it to Cox again, and he just strolls into the end zone, and just like that, it's 26-zip. Bulldogs, and the route is officially on here from Barlow Stadium, War Memorial Field, as Sandpoint has justified their number 1 seeding in a major way through a quarter and a half.
Boy, yeah, just really dominant up front there on that play. Durrell has a guy on his back, and Laybourne just running up the middle behind Stockton and that left side, and boy, just unable to stop the Bulldogs' running attack right now.
Extra point up and good. We'll take time out. Bulldogs lead at 27-0. Back after this on North Idaho's radio and Rock 103.
Is that 3 touchdowns for Cox already? Yeah.
Should have went to the bathroom.
Point.
Yeah.
Step into each.
Without authorization, I don't see any penalties on the field. Well, never mind.
It's
We'll just
interesting.
pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, just reset the clock and do
The
this
official is talking to Kuhn right now, and he's probably saying, hey, you got to make sure that I tell you it's okay.
again. Maybe he's from Germany. Maybe didn't quite.
That's right. Yeah, lost in translation just a little bit there. Oh, my goodness. So here we go. We'll do it again. Disaster averted for Mountain Home on that play. This one
Holy
is
moly.
going to get down and be taken, and it's into the end zone. It's dropped. So Kuhn, who kicked it too soon, then, was sufficiently angered to drive it into the end zone, dead into the wind.
Boy, into the wind, and he drives that right to that goal line, and that is as impressive as a leg, man. We've said that all along. I'm kind of wearing it out, but my Lord, that's impressive.
That is impressive. I mean, that is dead into the wind.
And you could see him put a little more oomph in that one too, and he strikes it perfectly and just drives the ball down. Yeah, I think he's even shocked himself.
Let's see, 20-yard line where Mountain Home still searching in vain for their first down of the ball game. And there's a run right up the middle that goes for a couple.
Yeah, the Mountain Home just they just spread them all out there and just direct snap right there to
the running back number 32. Pearson.
Yeah, he's able to get some good blocking there off that right side, and a nice tackle there on the play by Wes Benefield. As he was getting blocked too, but he's able to kind of fight off and get his pads low and trip him up there at his feet, and for only about a 3-yard gain.
So the Bulldog defense right now looking to not only throw a shutout on the scoreboard, but on the stat sheet as well. So far, the Mountain Home Tigers have not been able to procure enough yardage for a first down. There's a run up the middle. Pass to the outside, and another tackle by Benefield. They throw it once again to the man on the outside, whose number, it must be 8 that they're throwing that. Their numbers are interesting. That's Lauren Wright. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 again.
Boy, how quick does Benefield get out to that screen pass? And man, if you cut it back in the middle, he's there to just. He tackles with a little bit of viciousness.
He's tackling with a lot. I like to call impunity.
Yeah,
he's looking to make the ball carrier feel his presence. So it's going to be 3rd and short. Snap comes to the tailback, who's going to be tackled by Vandenberg, short of the 30-yard line. 4th and 1. Okay, here we go again, Coach. You're now down 27-0. What do you got to lose on a 4th and 1? I mean, you punted it last time, and one play later, they're already down. The Bulldogs were down inside the 20.
Yeah, I just think you're in a situation here, 4th and 1. You gotta be able to get the defense off the field first of all, and. But boy, what a great job Vandenberg on the left side. The ball is actually handed off to the left side, and he's able to circle all the way out, get off his block, and make a tackle from behind there along the hash mark and stop him short for that first down.
So here we go, 4th and 1 for Mountain Home. And the Bulldogs are not being hospitable hosts to Mountain Home. There's a run up the middle, nothing. Loses a yard.
Wes Benefield
Yeah,
on that
Benefield
tackle.
reads it. They snapped it once again to Taylor Pearson, and it's going to be a first down for the Bulldogs at the 29-yard line of Mountain Home.
Yeah,
Second half isn't going to take very long, Jay.
Boy, when you can't throw the football with much success, Chris, and all you want to be able to do is run up the middle, it really allows, you got the 4 down linemen, and now you got to fill the gaps, right? And it's just really too many guys to block. Is it 6 on 5, and boy, if you leave Wes Benefield unblocked, he sees that, he's going to stall you off,
Yeah.
and he did that on that play.
So the Bulldogs now back on offense at the 29-yard line. Pettit back to pass, looking, going deep, trying to get it out for Frank. It's through his hands, but pass interference in the end zone. So the Bulldogs will get some free yardage on this one. And the Bulldogs almost have as many yards on that penalty as Mountain Home's been able to procure through their entire offensive output of the first quarter and a half.
Yeah, and really just, the Bulldogs, like the matchup with Frank on that right side. Chris, the ball a little bit underthrown, but, Frank does a good job of trying to get back to the football, thrown to the inside, and, it's a pretty easy pass interference call, Chris.
So the Bulldogs are now inside the 20 again, right at the 15 after the 15-yard penalty. Looks like they've got Wes Benefield in at running back in this single wing formation, and they give it to him. And he goes up the middle, and his first carry is going to be a touchdown.
He's in the end zone. Yeah, the big linebacker getting his first carry of the night, and he takes it
That's
15
his first
yards.
carry of the year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, of the year. Yeah, did I say the night?
Yeah,
of the year, and he takes it 15 yards into the end zone. Boy, the Bulldogs just, not a whole lot of
resistance.
Resistance.
Yes,
Thank you.
yeah, I'd say
by Mountain Home so far here.
Extra point up and good. Bulldogs lead it 34-0, and we haven't hit halftime. We'll be back with more football after this on North Idaho's Radio and Rock 103. And then there's a flag at the end. We'll see what the flag is about. If it's a hold against the Mountain Home Tigers, it will negate what would have been, I believe, their best starting field position of the night. It's a personal foul against Mountain Home, so that will definitely do that. Helmet-to-helmet contact by the offense, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Mountain Home, able to start outside their,
outside their 20,
and now they're going to be backed in right around the 11-yard line, Chris, I think. That's where I'd spot it. But yeah, some Bulldogs out there listening to the game, tuning in. Corey Millard, a little shout out to Corey Millard.
Right, nice.
Bulldog 1988. Thanks for tuning in and listening to this broadcast. The Bulldogs off to a great start, and it's a good night to be a Bulldog.
Oh boy. So far, Bulldogs leading at 34-0. And it's not too early to talk about Shelley and Preston. who the Bulldogs will face next week if they're able to somehow hold on to this 34-0 lead. And Shelley right now is rolling over Preston 29-7 in the third quarter.
Yeah, a game that was played earlier this year. It was a close game, 14-12, Kelly, but they got to host it, and they're taking advantage of that home field advantage.
There's a pass. It's caught, and looky here. We've got a first down for Mountain Home to the 25-yard line on a nice slant. Good connection there. And that is the first down of the contest for Mountain Home.
Didn't get the number on that play, but the ball thrown a little bit behind him. A nice little there's some speed out there on that quick slant by that receiver, and he does a great job of getting open in the middle of the field. And the ball thrown a little bit behind him, but pretty good blocking up front by Mountain Home, and they get their first down, the biggest play of the night here, in the first half.
We'll catch you up on some of the other scores around Idaho in the 4As, and there's some interesting ones out there right now. 3:45 left here in this first half. Bulldogs leading it 34-0. Your Columbia Bank halftime show is looming. There's a screen play to the outside, and it's dropped for a loss. Guess who? Number 22, Wes Benefield, there to make sure that play goes no further than the 28-yard line. It's a 2-yard loss.
2-yard loss, yeah. Benefield, again, just a high IQ when it comes to football. He sees that little screen off to that right side, Chris, the white side of the field. He picks it up early. Nobody blocks him, and he makes a nice tackle for that loss for the Bulldog defense.
We have another former Bulldog listening, Matt Ellis, chiming in from Seattle.
All right, Matt.
So, if you want to call out, just, reach out to us. We've got the time, 2:50 left. First half, Bulldogs leading at 34-0. And it's second down and long for Mountain Home. There's a long pass thrown down, incomplete.
Yeah, boy, Jack just doesn't turn his head. But again, I guess in high school, I was educated a little bit.
Yeah, no, you don't have to.
You don't have to turn and find the ball. You just put your hands up but if he turns and finds the ball, that's an interception for
totally.
Jack Zimmerman.
Because that ball was way underthrown. The only guy who had even a chance at catching it was Zimmerman. So it stops the clock with 2:42. Bulldogs leading at 34-zip, and the ball just across the 22-yard line for Mountain Home. So third and long. Mountain Home. Quarterback is talking to one of his H-backs, and then Mountain Home's going to have to burn a timeout here because they're just not figuring it out. So third down and 12 coming up. Bulldogs leading at 34-0. And this scoring update brought to you by Northwest Auto Body and Towing, with 2 locations to serve you. Sandpoint and Ponderay since 1976, providing quality repairs throughout North Idaho. And we promised a score check around the region. Let's do it. Bishop Kelly in the third quarter up 34-14 over Twin Falls. Blackfoot 28, Middleton 16. Emmett's closed it down a little bit. They're down now 34-21, but that one's in the fourth quarter. Valley View is over Minico 28-12. Wow. That would probably be the most shocking upset so far. Pokey's up 10-0 on Bonneville. And as we mentioned, it's Shelley 29 and Preston 7. Of course, the Bulldogs leading at 34-0 are right here at Barlow Stadium, War Memorial Field.
Yeah, just that conference where Mountain Home comes out of Minico, and just not a whole lot of it's been tough for them. Minico get going undefeated. Oh wow! Oh, intercepted.
Oh, there's a pass thrown right to a Bulldog as Winnings was getting hit as he threw it, and he threw it right to Joseph Hughes, who makes the interception, and the Bulldogs have it now at the 19-yard line, we'll say.
Yeah, right at the 19-yard line. And Jan and Mark Hull at home tuning in, Chris. Got theirs. Go Bulldogs. They're fired up. My cousin reaching out. So, we should be here tonight. You're just a few blocks away. You should be here watching in person. But,
it's cold. It's windy.
Maybe with your headphones on in the stands listening to the show. But
hang out and listen to the contest here on Rock 103 or on North Idaho's radio, or for those who are not in the region, Rock 103 FM, NorthIdahoRadio.com, the 2 outlets where you can stream it here live and direct. Kuhn runs on late. Bulldogs need to get this play off quickly as the play clock is winding down.
The judge hasn't given us 5-second hand yet here.
Pettit takes it, throws it back across the way, finds Newhart. Newhart up the middle is dragged down from behind inside the 10, inside the 5. They'll mark him, I guess, right at the 5. So it's first and goal for the Bulldogs yet again. Wow.
Yeah, again, just trips to the right side, the short side of the field with Vandenberg and Kuhn. And boy, Parker Pettit looks left to Max Frank, then around, throws it across, and well blocked again on the outside as he's got a group of Bulldogs leading the way, and a nice big play there by Cody Newhart and Parker Pettit.
So as the clock winds down towards 2 minutes left in the first half, Bulldogs looking to hit 40. And they do. Cody Newhart catches it in the corner of the end zone right at the goal line, and it's 40-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. Now, Jay, I expected the Bulldogs to win this, probably win it fairly handily. I don't think I expected the Bulldogs to hit 40 before the first half was out.
No, me neither, Chris. And this has just been a dominant performance here, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, just really no resistance other than that first series. The Bulldogs forced a punt, but they've answered it back big in every way.
Snap is low, and the hold is not completed by Zimmerman, who's the holder now, I guess. And it's 40-0. So the only thing that's gone wrong for the Bulldogs, Jay, they missed 2 extra points, or else it would be 42-0. But other than that, they've dominated on offense, on defense, on special teams, and in uniforms too. Frankly, I like their uniforms a lot better than Mountain Home. So,
well, I'm a little
sure.
little
I'm not
biased that
saying
way,
that it's an objective opinion.
What are they? The Tigers? They got the striped.
They got the
helmets.
they got the stripes there.
Pretty sharp.
I don't know. I don't like orange
Yeah, it's Halloween
on a
too.
uniform.
You're
No,
not
it's
a
not
big
helping
Halloween.
them.
You're not a big
I'm
Halloween
not a
fan
big
either.
Halloween guy. All I remember on Halloween is being in Post Falls and it being like 8 degrees, calling games in their rickety old.
God, remember those days?
Oh man, there was one Halloween weekend in the stands of Post Falls was the coldest I think I've ever been, and the ball goes down to the 1, and then it's fumbled into the end zone. That literally, what in the world? The receiver just let it go over his head like it was a punt. It almost landed and died at the 1, and then he thought to himself, I better go pick this up. So he kind of fumbled it into the end zone. They'll get it.
Boy, that's a lucky break right
is.
there. Man, that ball was,
It was
perfectly placed, and it just died right at the 1 yard line, Chris. And again, he gave it a little bit of help to get in the end zone. It's like, oh my God, it didn't go in the end zone. And that's how impressive that Kuhn is. That's just an impressive kick, really high. With that wind, it's not going to the end zone, but boy, he just made that thing stop right at the 1 yard line, and the Tigers get a break. They get the ball to 20.
They get a break. Yes, they do. They're back on the field. They of the lone first down of the contest that they have. And once again, their quarterback, Gus Winnings, Taylor Pearson, the linebacker or the running back right next to him, throwing it out deep, and it is going to be picked. Right? Nobody even close. And with the football going down inside the 10-yard line as Winnings just throws it up for grabs. And another interception for Coda Hartley, who basically, he could have called a fair catch. He was so close. So the Bulldogs are going to be set up again inside the 20-yard line of Mountain Home, who at this rate, Jay, they may just load the bus up at halftime.
Boy, yeah, just again, looking to just go deep down that seam, Chris, and just not enough arm. He underthrows that by about 8 yards, 10 yards, and
downwind.
Coda Hartley just right there. It's like you said, he could have put his hand up, fair catch, and instead he reels it in and hauls it in. And a nice return by Coda Hartley too, as he takes it all the way back inside that 10-yard line. As the Bulldogs looking to tack on one more score here to half.
So, starting this drive inside the 10, Who gets the handoff this time?
That's Brewster.
It's Brewster up the middle, and he's not going to get much. Maybe a yard, as a nice job there by the interior line of the Tigers. And the Bulldogs are already substituting liberally here at the end of this first half of play. And, yeah, a great idea. Get Cox, you're saying he's got a little bit of a shoulder. No need to stress him. I mean, he's already got 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Clock winds. Brewster breaks to the outside.
He's going to be in.
He's going to get into the end zone as he goes through 3 guys who try to grab his jersey on the way by. Mountain Home not really trying to step in front of anybody at this point, and it's 46-0 in favor of Sandpoint. Wow.
Yeah, you'd want something a little bit more, playoff caliber,
Yes, this is, the Bulldogs would have better competition if they just scrimmage themselves.
I missed it.
Extra point again, no good. It is 46-0, 1:11 left until we get to halftime. We'll be back with more football here at Barlow Stadium War Memorial Field after this on North Idaho's radio and Rock 103.
Did you hear the coaches? They're like, I heard.
Mistake results in a touchback. It's 1st and 10, Tigers on their own 2.
Yeah, you drove that one into the wind, man. What'd you call it, a long iron?
Long iron, yeah, driving iron on that one. It was a low line drive. The wind not a factor. Mountain Home. Sherrill checking into the game for the Bulldogs. No. And then he checks right back out. I think he tried to sneak in. He wants some of that. So here come the Tigers now. Pass thrown out and an immediate catch and tackle on the far side. Gain of about 4.
I think they called that incomplete.
Did he drop it?
Yeah, he dropped it. Good job by McCorkle out there. Quick little hitch, about a 5-yard hitch, and McCorkle comes up and gets his hands in front right when the ball gets there and is able to knock it free. Mountain Home just looking to throw the football. Clock stops.
No, the clock has not stopped.
They're
trying to. Now the clock stops. Nobody seems too concerned about resetting the clock. As Mountain Home comes out on 2nd and 10. Winning's the quarterback with his running back right next to him. He drops, he looks, he throws. He's got a man. It's caught. It's going to be about a 5-6 yard gain out to the 26. And it's going to be a 3rd down now and 4 as we're inside of 30 seconds.
Yeah, really, those hitches right there, just those short little quick passes seem to be the best plays for him. That time, that caught right in front of Kobe Barlow, who does a great job of just wrapping him up, making it a 3rd down and 4 situation here for the Bulldogs. Pretty well played there by the junior corner for the Bulldogs.
At this point, the Bulldogs will let him throw 4-yard hitches from now until about 9 o'clock tonight. So that's your half as Mountain Home can't get another play off. 46-0 Bulldogs. The happy Columbia Bank halftime show is on the way next here on North Idaho's radio and Rock 103.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Sandpoint High School dance team. The cheer team is Mia Jackson, Chloe Jane, Elizabeth, Olivia Pins, Annie, Alexa McKenna, Mia Jessica, Sophie, Mia, Casey, Taylor, Jordan, Victoria, Eleanor, Kinsey, and head coach Heather Deacon. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message was brought to you by the statewide Student Advisory Council, representing the Idaho High School Activities Association, and Sandpoint High School. Peter Pearson's kick is played by Jack Zimmerman. Balls on the 49-yard line, first down, Bulldogs.
And they have a host of backups. And there's a big run to the outside. Bulldogs at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10. And running out of bounds there is Brewster, right? There's a flag at the very end all the way back. So this is probably coming back. Hunter Garcia in at quarterback. New wide receivers.
Yeah, everybody's.
Linemen.
Boy, everybody's is new. And, and again, this whole JV squad is out there on the field tonight. And that first play, from this JV squad almost went for 6 as Brewster shows his wheels. But there's a holding call on the outside by, one of the receivers out there. I believe it was Jacob Gove. I'm not sure, though. But the flag kind of seems to happen right here where the receivers were blocking downfield. But, boy, an impressive first play there by this whole second group for the Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs, after the penalty, will still have a first down and about 4 right at the 45-yard line of Mountain Home. So it's Garcia in at quarterback. And there's a high snap. Garcia has to just try and do something with it. And once that high snap came, he looked around for somebody to hand off to. And, Jay, there was nobody there to hand off to.
Yeah, well, he had to, he wanted to hand the ball off to the running back, but it took a little time. And by the time he was able to corral and
Brewster
turn around,
was
he
gone.
was gone. Yeah.
That's right. So 2nd down and 8 after the loss of 4. And the Bulldogs look over to the side. We'll get some of the numbers of names of some of these young guys that are in there. Costas Bach is in there at one of the wide receiver positions. Back to pass Garcia. He's going deep. He's trying to get it out, and it is incomplete as Connor Hinberg was going inside. The pass went to the outside, and it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Boy, a little bit of pressure that time off that right side as the defensive end for the Tigers able to kind of get around, beat the left tackle, and put some pressure on Hunter Garcia, and he just throws the ball up there, just throws it to the outside, and no way for Hinberg to make an adjustment on that play. Pretty well defended downfield.
And the 5-8 Lewiston is down 21-7 to Capital. That is just about at halftime. And so 3rd and long now coming up for the Bulldogs. 3rd and 8. Garcia hands it off. And still on his feet, driving forward, but not going to be close to first down yardage. About a 3-yard gain that time for the Bulldogs, Cody Brewster. And the Bulldogs will send the punt team out, which is the only action the regulars will probably get throughout this second half is some of these special teams.
Yeah, the special teams will be, obviously the first squad. They got to have their hats on and ready to go here. But, the Bulldogs a good start here on that second team, but just a big penalty there stalls this drive.
So, Cheryl, first punt of the night for the Bulldogs. Second. Oh, that's right, yeah. It seemed so long ago. This kick is going to roll down and be downed by a Bulldog at the 1-yard line.
Geez, they're fighting over almost knocked it in the end zone.
I know. I want to down it. No, I want to down it. So 99 yards from pay dirt as the Bulldogs send the second squad of defense out onto the field.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. All these kids that get to play in the playoff game. They get their letter too.
Yeah, no
these guys
doubt.
that wanted to stick it out and stick around. JV teams, the players, they have an option to opt out and focus on academics and get ready for their winter sport if they're playing one, or stick with it. Give the Bulldogs varsity some looks at practice, and boy, a bunch of them stuck it out, and boy, they're going
to get a whole half of action.
Yeah, they're going to get a whole half of action, and they're going to get that letter. That's pretty cool.
Bulldogs having a little trouble getting enough guys on the field with the second squad, so they have to call timeout as they only had 10 guys out there, and that's not quite enough. So Coach Knowles and the defensive coaches wander out onto the field. They only had 9.
I'm counting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They only have 10 out there right now.
Maybe that was some of the negotiation at halftime. I don't know.
We got
so 9:58 left.
8,
I think they have 11 out there
10,
now.
11, yeah, they got it out there.
So they had 10, and then they were trying to run on somebody late to get the requisite number. Lucas Hansen was sprinting out there late, so it'll be first down and 10 inside the 1-yard line for Mountain Home.
The clock's not running, so the Bulldogs got to be a little careful here. You don't want this. Not to get away from them at all, but I think once that if they capitalize and get that score back under 40, then I think the clock will continue to stop going in that fourth quarter.
And then there's a pass to the outside and a big gain all the way out to the 17-yard line. They just throw that wide receiver screen that time. Winnings does. It goes for plenty there. It's a big gain on first down.
Steps out of bounds, stops the clock.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now the clock starts rolling.
So here comes Mountain Home back to the line of scrimmage. Trips out wide to the right. One receiver to the left. Winnings back, looking, throwing. He goes across the middle. It's incomplete and into a big crowd. He was trying to get it to his little receiver, Parker Reynolds, number 22. And it was incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, threw into a crowd of Bulldogs there. Lucky that ball, the Bulldogs really weren't watching where the ball was thrown, but he tried to squeeze it in between the 3 or 4 Bulldogs, and really nowhere for the receiver to catch it, and the ball falls incomplete here. Stops the clock.
Yeah, which is the last thing anyone wants at this point. So 2nd down and 10 coming up. As out of the huddle now comes Mountain Home. They're headed towards the northern end of the end zone here in this second half. Right to left across your radio dial. Glad you're along with us here on North Idaho's radio and Rock 103 for football playoff action. Winning's going to run this one, and it's not going to get too far across the 20-21. To gain a 3, it's going to be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, again, pretty good coverage downfield. These sophomores, they're very they got a lot of skilled position players, and they do a great job of just smothering the receivers that Winnings is trying to throw to, and forces him to keep it. And a good job there by a couple Bulldogs to come up and make a nice tackle on the quarterback as he's forced to run it up the middle.
Yeah, Brewster and Allhouse at the cornerback positions there really did a nice job on that one. And for the Bulldogs, it looks like it's Connor Hinberg in there at safety.
Yeah, you got Shane Sherrill out there at the strong. Lucas Hansen. Got Merrick Bauk at linebacker.
So Winnings back, looking, throwing, going deep. There's a man out there, but it's picked. Another interception. Alshouse has got it, and he comes back the other way. So the Bulldogs will get it at the 20-yard line as the interception is made. Eli Alshouse, and again, trying to throw deep, and Jay almost passed the arm strength of the quarterback.
Yeah, just really underthrown there, and it looked like he had a receiver had a couple yards,
yep.
On this deep, almost a almost a fly pattern, but he kind of breaks it out to the flag, and boy, the ball just really underthrown, at least by eight yards, and Alshouse just right there. He sees the ball, picks it up, and a nice interception there by the sophomore.
Yeah, and a nice return as well. Gets about 20 on the return. So
he saw a lot of action in the spring and summer in the league. As Bulldogs missing a few people. He saw some varsity reps against some tough teams, and this kid's going to be somebody to look out for here in the future for the Bulldogs.
So Sandpoint now back out on offense. Hunter Garcia, quarterback in the second half. Hands it off around the outside, cutting it up inside, and a good gain is Sherrill down to about the 15. So give him about 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, good job that time again. The snap coming from Chapman to send the new center into the game comes a little high, but Hunter Garcia has shown some athletic ability at the quarterback position, goes up and gets it and hands it off to Sherrill, who finds nice room off that right side.
Garcia does the feign of the snap, and then everyone looks to the sidelines. Sherrill standing right behind Garcia, who now takes the snap. It's another high one. He fakes the handoff. Well, he thought he was handing it off to his left. His running back was going to the right. Garcia did a nice job holding his fake.
Wow.
Unfortunately for him, the defense was bearing down on him.
Yeah, just the wrong way. He really he held that ball out there. It's like, oh, okay, he's not coming. He went the wrong way, or you turned the wrong way, and boy, about the time he realized something was going on, he was met in the backfield for a 6-yard loss. Unfortunate play there for the Bulldogs, but sorry, that
looked like they were running some sort of modified Statue of Liberty.
Don't do it, Nelly.
3rd and 10 now. Garcia takes a snap, hands it off to Sherrill. Sherrill drives forward, going to get 3 or 4 out of this one, and then that's going to be about it. So it's going to be 4th down for the Bulldogs.
You think the Bulldogs will try to kick a field goal here, work on something that they haven't had a whole lot of success? I think so. They're going to bring in the kicker and get a little, get Jacob Gove, who's on the field. He's playing wide receiver. They're going to.
Well, they need some practice right now because they've missed 3 extra points in this one. As Gove comes on, he's going to try what will be a 36-yard field goal from the near side hash mark.
Yeah, the goal for him is to step in front of that football, Chris, and get some height on it and then drive it through there. Don't ease up on it. You got to kick through the ball.
Snap is good. Kick is up. It is a line drive, and it's no good. It had plenty of distance. He just didn't get it hooked back into the upright, kind of a straight one. And it remains 46-0 in favor of the Bulldogs here, 3rd quarter. Halfway through this 3rd quarter of action, this scoring update brought to you by Sun Rental, a proud supporter of the Bulldogs since 1979. They rent everything under the sun, and barring some sort of insano turnaround, the Bulldogs will be hosting Shelley next week. And we rate the word that it will be on Friday night as well. My fingers are crossed for that personally. I see no reason to switch up the.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if any teams from the Southeast Conference even won. They had 4 teams in here, and did Twin Falls win? No.
No.
Minico lost, and Mountain Homes lose. They're the 4 seed out of there, and who's that?
Mountain Homes getting their butt kicked. Minico's losing 28-12 to Valley View. They've lost. Twin Falls,
they're conference, yeah.
They're getting destroyed, 49-21. So then that's a final. Bishop Kelly beating them.
I'm thinking, is there? It wouldn't be Bonneville. Maybe
No.
it's Pocatello. Pocatello,
No, Pokey's off on District 6.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Skyline, no. Yeah.
Emmett, no.
No, that's Boise.
Yep.
But I think they got four teams in there. I'm just not curious. I'm kind of curious on who.
So 2nd down and 5. Right here for Mountain Home. At the 25-yard line. After the missed field goal, there's a direct snap and a run up the middle. Going to be a 1st down across the 35 to the 38-yard line. And that is as far as Mountain Home has made it towards the Bulldog end zone so far tonight.
Yeah, that's a big first down there. As the clock runs, I like to see them run the football, keep the game moving here. And that time they got some good blocking off that right side, and he gets that second level. And big running backs able to mow forward for their biggest play so far.
So it's going to be a first down. It's at the Bulldogs, at the Mountain Home 38-yard line. Winning's the quarterback. And they snap it to the running back. He's got another nice run, and he's going to be tackled, but not before he gets into Bulldog territory, down to the 45-yard line of Sandpoint. So another 15 yards on that run, just off of the right side. As the chains reset, the clock will roll. And up to the line of scrimmage comes Mountain Home. Vandals are after it tomorrow. They'll be taking on Northern Arizona pregame at noon. Kickoff tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock on North Idaho's radio. Back to pass Winnings. He throws it. It's incomplete, nearly intercepted again. He was hit as he was throwing it. Coming in on the rush that time for the Bulldogs was number 29. Do not have a 29 on my roster.
Yeah, and again, nobody off to this left side, Chris, as the field was wide open off to this left side, and but they have everybody kind of coming this way, and the ball just not a very well thrown football there by Winings is overthrown, and the Bulldogs here getting in a second down and long situation.
His accuracy is suspect with his three-quarter to sidearm delivery. Back to pass again, throwing this one. It's up, and it's incomplete and almost intercepted off the hands of the intended receiver, who was closely guarded, and then it went right through the hands of Connor Hinberg, who immediately his hands went to his helmet because he had to pick in some room to run.
Yeah, again, pretty well covered. I didn't get the number of the.
It was Merrick Bach. Yep. So quads out to the right of the quarterback this time in a bunch.
Oh, it's Preston.
And then a handoff, a direct snap once again to the running back, number 32, Pearson. Pearson drives down to the 30-yard line. And on 3rd and 10, another gain of about 15, and it's a first down for Mountain Home.
Yeah, another big play. Just now that offensive front's able to really open up some nice holes for this running back to get through, and as now they're able to kind of, control that line of scrimmage, and they're moving the ball down the field here against this Bulldogs second group. So with Preston losing to Shelley, Chris, that's the 4th team out of that Southeast.
Gotcha.
So they're 0-4 in that first round.
Ouch. So 4 teams in, none advancing. There's a pass downfield, incomplete, well wide and long of his intended target that time for Winnings, who was trying to get it. They had one guy out there and 2 Bulldogs in the region. And once again, it was number 18, Gage Buckley, it looks like, who they were trying to get the ball to. Oh, no, that's 13, not 18.
Yeah,
that was Xavier Parker.
Going after Eli Allshouse. Does a good job of sticking with him, but then there's a little bit of contact about that 15-yard line, allowed the receiver to get a little separation with the ball thrown way wide.
Down to 3:30 left here in the third quarter. Bulldogs leading at 46-0. Winnings keeps it, runs off to the near side. He's going to get tackled after a gain of about 7 or 8. So it's going to be a third down now and 2 from the 22-yard line.
Yeah, again, just a nice little play action fake there up the middle to his running back, and he just keeps it. He's able to get to the edge. There's a good blocking off that left side, and he gets the edge and picks up 8 yards on that second down carry. Makes it a third down and short here.
So 3rd and short. New running back in there for Mountain Home. Looks like number 22, he gets
Shifty.
the ball. Parker Reynolds. Reynolds is going to be close to a first down, if not get it inside the 20. That'll move the chains. First down and 10 from the 19-yard line.
Yeah, the Bulldogs kind of had that. They wanted to run off that right side. They had it pretty well defending there, but boy, he's just a pretty quick back there, Chris, and he's able to cut it back. He almost he kind of just tripped himself up. He was making so many moves there in the backfield, and for those 2 yards, he's able to get 3 yards and a first down for the Tigers here as they get inside the Bulldogs' 20-yard line.
So best drive of the night for the Tigers. This one going against the Bulldogs' second-team defense. They put trips on the far side, one receiver on the near side, and they throw the screen. That's nearly a backwards pass. It is not caught. It is incomplete, and it'll be 2nd and 10. And that receiver saw a lot of red coming his way and just said, nah, no thanks.
Boy, yeah, and a bunch of Bulldogs jumped out. They saw that being set up, and boy, the ball got out there just in time. But smart move by the receiver to let that one just kind of just
right. That was a very wise business decision, because if he really tried to catch that, he would have been hammered. 2nd and 10 now. Winnings with Pearson right next to him. And there's a run up the middle to the 15, so 3rd and 6 coming up as Pearson, I believe, got that carry. As we wind under 2 minutes, third quarter, Bulldogs handily in front, 46-0.
Yeah, I know it's an automatic, I think, clock run after the third quarter, Chris, if they're up by more, by 40 or more, and I think the coaches for this want that clock to continue to run and try to keep Mountain Home out of this end zone here before the fourth quarter starts.
Back to pass. Winnings. Winnings is going to run it now as he's throwing it. Now he throws it deep and out of the back of the end zone. Then a flag flies. I think Winnings was beyond the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Beyond.
That's what I'm saying. He looked like he was running. Either that or they had ineligible men downfield, because nearly everyone from Mountain Home was beyond the line of scrimmage by the time that ball was thrown. Officials are gathering.
That'll be a loss of down, too. There'll be a 5-yard penalty. Yeah, past the line of scrimmage, quarterback, illegal throw. So that'll be a loss of down and 5 yards. So that'll put Mountain Home in a 4th down and 11.
So they'll stick it back at the 19-yard line. So
should be a loss of down. Yeah.
Should be, yep. So 4th down coming. 4th and 10. A little confusion on the Mountain Home sideline on who should be in and who should be out. The quarterback now runs back in, and one of the linebacker, running back combo guys runs out. It's number 7 and 17 in the backfield, Kalen Sykes, who then goes in motion, leaving Winnings in the backfield by himself. They throw the screen pass again, and this is not going anywhere. 4th down and 10. You throw a sideways pass, and Sherrill reads it, snuffs it out, and a long drive takes a lot of time, but comes to no fruition point-wise for Mountain Home.
Oh yeah, you put all your eggs in the basket on that far side, so there's no need for the Bulldogs to worry about this side of the field other than the quarterback. Somebody spots him up, and he try to throw it out there to that far side of the field, and they have the numbers out there. But boy, what a great play by Shane Sherrill. He picks it up right away. He comes up, tough kid, makes a nice tackle. The Bulldogs get the ball here on a turnover and downs.
So Sandpoint's offense led now by Hunter Garcia back out there. And Sherrill going to come in and do some more running back duties. 1st and 10. 1:11 left in the third quarter. Sandpoint 46-0 ahead. They had that lead late in the second quarter. There's a handoff up the middle, and it goes backwards. The tackle for loss is going to be a 2nd down and 13 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, not all. He's trying to go off that left side, Chris, and boy, that whole left side of that offensive line kind of gets buckled under as they just unable to do any good blocking out there for Sherrill. He's hit immediately.
So it's going to be a 2nd down as Garcia looks to the sidelines. Bulldogs have 3 wides.
He's offsides.
And then we've got a flag down as looks like one of the Tigers jumped into the neutral zone. He did, so the Bulldogs get 5 free ones. And the ball back outside the 25 to the 26, setting up now a 2nd down and about 7.
Now you should be able to run this right into the 4th quarter if you want, without even snapping the football.
So the Bulldogs are lined up, but not seemingly that interested in snapping the football, as you would expect, with a 46-0 lead. And the final seconds of the 3rd quarter winding out. Bulldogs leading it big, heading into the next round of the playoffs. We'll be back after this on North Idaho's Radio and Rock 103.
I love family road trips. Wind in my ears, fruits in my mouth, and peace of mind knowing Les Schwab did our tires, brakes, and alignment. Like Les Schwab, my family's safety is my first priority. Well, that and squeaky toys.
Les Schwab Tires, proud to be ranked #1.
I don't think they have 11 guys on the sidelines.
Yeah,
maybe close.
Count the guy on the far side there. Yeah, I think they got 11. But, yeah, boy, just too much Bulldogs tonight, Chris.
Yeah.
Just, boy, they had everything going defensively, obviously. Boy, the rest of the state, is on notice now as, boy, Mountain Home Tigers gave them no resistance, and they had their way.
Garcia back to pass, looking, throwing deep. He's got a lot of guys out there. It's intercepted as 2 receivers are right exactly in the same spot, and it's going to be returned back inside the 25-yard line, and that's where Mountain Home will take over inside the 20 as we are just underway, 4th quarter. Bulldogs leading it 46-0. And, Jay, that pattern – 2 guys right in the same spot. I don't think that's how that's supposed to be worked out.
Exactly. Yeah, 2 guys. Again, you got the backups in there. They're both running to the same spot of the field. Maybe they're just running towards the ball. But the ball was underthrown there by Garcia, and a good job there by the Mountain Home. They stopped the clock, so that's interesting.
Change of possession.
I didn't even think they stopped it on that, but. It is playoff football.
It is playoffs, and they may not go to Mercy Rule in playoffs. It's quite possible, as there's a run right up the middle, and it's going to be good for a run inside the 15, down to about the 14, 9 yards on that play. As Pearson does a pretty nice job picking a hole and then just driving forward. So 2nd and 2 coming up.
Yeah, again, the nice little cross action there in the backfield by Mountain Home as they fake the handoff. Little you call it like a little 34 trap, and that time was opened up pretty nicely there off that right side. As Coach Knowles now is going to take a timeout and get things kind of figured out here defensively. Do a little teaching, I think. Do a little coaching.
Yeah, do a little coaching. There's somebody on the sidelines. I think they wanted in, and they weren't in. So with the score 46-0, this scoring update is brought to you by 7BTV, your authorized dish retailer, locally owned and operated, and ready to help you. A proud sponsor of Bulldog Sports. Let's do another quick check of what's going on around North Idaho Eastern Idaho, Central and Southern Idaho in the playoffs. Lewiston's getting hammered pretty good by Capital 31-13, and each classification has different ways they're doing the playoffs depending on how many teams are in there. If I can get the 4As to come up here on my fancy computer that doubles as a phone. I guess I got to hit the right spot, huh? There we go. Bishop Kelly, a winner. Blackfoot, a winner. Emmett, a winner. Minico, a winner. Shelley, a winner. Napa, a winner. You're right. Shelley, a winner. Pocatello's up at the halftime, and the Bulldogs are up 46-0 in the only other game still going on in the 4As tonight in Idaho. Kellogg lost a 5-pointer to South Fremont earlier. Clock rolling as it's first and goal for Mountain Home at about the 7-yard line.
Mountain Home looked to put some points on the board here as their one play here after the timeout was able to get them a first down and into the Bulldogs inside the Bulldogs 10.
They hand it off, and that handoff is dropped. The ball's still loose on the ground, and I think the Bulldogs are going to get it. They tried the end around to number 5, Anthony Gomez, and Gomez dropped it, picked it up, dropped it, fumbled it, kicked it.
Yeah.
Just couldn't fall on it, and the ball goes over to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just kind of in open space there and just dropped it. He was, just dropped it. Yeah, Eli Altshouse on that recovery is Bulldogs. Once the ball hits the turf, 3 Bulldogs get after it, and the Bulldogs team creates another turnover.
Yeah,
fortunate of a
the second-string defense is employed bend but not break quite well here in this second half. As the offense back out onto the field.
Our statistician is Notre Dame.
Yes, he's moving off into predictions. Says Bulldogs are going to run a 92-yarder right here. There's a run up the middle, and it's not 92, but it's about 3. So only 89 yards short of predicted.
Yeah, that time a good job up front there.
Yes.
Blake Sherrill gets off that left side, Chris, and picks up 4 yards. Bulldogs, they call it 2nd and 7. I'd say it's a 2nd and a long 6.
I agree. It's more like a 2nd and a long 6. So Sandpoint now really not in any hurry to run plays, as you would expect, sitting on a 46-0 lead. Garcia with Sherrill right behind him. Sherrill's shoes are so flesh-toned looking, it looks like he's not even wearing shoes from this vantage point. There's another handoff to Sherrill. Sherrill breaks it to the outside. He's at the 20. He's got a first down. He spins. He's out across the 25. That's a nice little 11, 12-yard gain for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, nice little play off that right side. That time, great blocking up front. I can't see the numbers out there. I wish we could see who they're running behind out to that right side. But a good job blocking and allows Sherrill to really get to that second level, and then he able to pick up some extra yards after contact. Tough run in there by Shane Sherrill.
Looks like Nate Blackgrove is one of them, number 65, off on that far side. Again, Garcia waiting. Just letting things roll down, waiting for the old back judge to start flapping his arms so the Bulldogs can run this first down play. There's another handoff to Sherrill. Sherrill drives forward. Going to be a short gain this time before he's pounded back. So 2nd and 8 coming up.
Chris, you were talking about at halftime after the first half, up 46-0, and you talked about, how far the Bulldogs have come. And
that's right.
In the 3 or 4 years,
That's right. When Coach Knowles took over, we made it to the playoffs as the 2nd seed out of our district that one year. Went to Blackfoot and got taken out big time.
Blackfoot, I think we were probably the 16th seed. Blackfoot ended up winning the state championship that year. One of their great teams went down there, and it was real familiar to this. It was 40-0. I think going in at halftime, just that ground and pound in a cold game up.
I remember that. There's a handoff up the middle that is snuffed out for a loss of 1. It's going to be 3rd and long as the clock rolls under 7.5 minutes here in this one. You're right, and now the Bulldogs have completely reversed that script. They've ascended to the number 1 seed. They're the team putting the hurt on the 16 seed after a long travel from Mountain Home.
Yeah, that's compliments to Coach Knowles and his staff, Theo Bar, and just really, turning this program around. And that's, we're only talking three years ago.
Yes, we are.
And where he's got them now, behind a senior group that's pretty thin in numbers, but a really strong junior class. Just able to really do some great things, and all the kids have bought into it and really want to, have some success and bring their second state championship trophy here back to Sandpoint. It's been a long time. We've been in a few, I think 3 state title games.
Yes, we have.
Probably more than that. 3 in the last. Is that right?
I think it's been 3.
Has it been
since
3?
The championship. Yeah, since the last championship.
09 and 15, and then I think was it 2002 or 2003? I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and and the Bulldogs. Have that opportunity. They're very well coached. We know that, and they got a bunch of guys here that have bought in, and things are looking really good to be that number 1 seed.
Well, they're not going to get anybody to say that they shouldn't have been the number 1 seed after the performance they put up in the first half tonight. I mean, it's 46-0, and if they had wanted to, they could have, been hovering around 70 points before the end of this game if that's what they were interested in. There's a punt that's dropped loose and nobody's on it, and finally it is going to be picked up all the way back. Ball still loose. No, they're going to blow it dead, saying that.
Oh, he never had possession, but that's good though.
You might as well give him the ball back at the 22-yard line. Boy, jeez. So. Bulldogs, great punt by Sherrill.
Boy, it was a beautiful punt. Boy, where did he punt that from? The 20, 22 or 23?
No, it
25.
Was, he punted it from. He booted it from about the 15-yard line. The line of scrimmage was about the 21.
It was the 25, I think, right? So, boy, that's a heck of a punt there by Blake Sherrill. 10.
I mean, it was dropped at about the 30. And then rolled backwards, and they say 22 is where it was finally.
Yeah, that's about
corralled.
45-yard punt there by Blake Sherrill. 53 yards net. That's a heck of an effort there by Blake Sherrill. Bulldog running on late there. Mason Twineham.
Yeah, Bulldogs. I don't know. I think everybody with a uniform on's gotten into this one.
If not, that'd be a bummer for all involved, right?
Yes, no doubt.
Coaches should be saying, who hasn't been in the game yet? Let's get you in there. And but yeah, that's a boy. Chris, you show up on Friday nights, and I don't know how many times you sometimes wish it was a blowout because you almost have a heart attack. Being where you got those close games and you go down to the wire, and but tonight it just wasn't. I just don't know. It just didn't feel right tonight.
It didn't. There's a handoff around the outside and a pretty good little run. It's going to be 3rd down after the first down play went nowhere. It's 3rd and 3 now as they run out of bounds, and then the official lines his arms and says, yeah, we're not stopping the clock here with it being 46-0. So the clock continues to run. And we're closing in already on the Mountain West Bank postgame show. Nearly 9 o'clock in the evening. This is Bulldog football on Rock 103, KTPO HD2 at Kootenai, and North Idaho's radio, KSPT and KBFI. And they hand it off this time for a first down right up the middle and to about the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. As the clock continues to run, and the Bulldogs will celebrate another big victory. And the good news for the Bulldogs, Jay, in this is that, your starters only had to play a half. They're going to be fresh and ready to go next week when Shelley comes to town.
Boy, yeah, Shelley's going to make that trek all the way up and around, Chris. It's going to be a long bus ride, about 9.5 hours. Boy, it's in a, the Bulldogs have really protected this turf.
Yeah, the Bulldogs have played great at home as there's a little bit of miscommunication as Mountain Homes put their second-string quarterback in, Caden Sykes, and the snap was a blooper that came down on his feet, and he had to pick it up and try and do something, and that something was lose only one.
Yeah, he did a good job of just really working his way back to that line of scrimmage, Chris. And boy, just a rough night. If you're a Mountain Home fan, or it's been tough. And hey, you're not the first one that's been
no kidding
put into this situation by this tough Bulldog team. Last week, Lakeland seen it firsthand.
There's another mishandle in the backfield, and another good job just to turn something negative into a positive that time.
Lakeland last week just basically one play. The 80 yards is about all they got out of this Bulldog defense. Other than with about a minute left there in that first half, they were able to take advantage of a couple Bulldog miscues, a late hit out of bounds, and able to kick a field goal. But it was a long night offensively for the Lakeland Hawks, and it's even been a lot longer night here for this Mountain Home Tigers team.
When you think about it, a Mountain Home, all those guys down there, they play in 4As. They're not scheduling up and playing 4 or 5A teams, and that really comes to bear at this time of year. If you can survive that, now there they go with the fumble-rooski again. And this one goes for 3 yards.
Wow, it's just crazy. I have not
2-1.
I just have not
seen that
game. I remember calling a game. I think you had moved to California this time, but I was calling a game with Bob Whitty, and it was Bishop Kelly, and Bishop Kelly went to that fumble-rooski, and it was a semifinal game. And
I remember.
We
I went and watched that game.
You might have been back.
I was just watching you guys do it.
And they pulled that off with great success, and it really broke the Bulldogs' hearts because we had a good team, and they came all the way up here in that semifinal game and walked away with a win on that fumble-rooski there with about a minute and a half or two left. And but that's the last time I've seen it. And one of those plays that's been kind of brought back to life.
Apparently. If you're a Mountain Home, it's a staple of your offense, and that's a tough way to go.
Yeah.
So we're in the final minute now. Bulldogs just about ready to put the finishing touches. Maybe one more play for Mountain Home, as the Bulldogs look like, barring some sort of last-second miracle, they're going to produce a shutout here in the first round, and a nice submarining tackle there by Sherrill on first down and a short gain. Under 15 seconds left. Bulldogs, well, this one's been in the refrigerator since about midway through the first quarter. The Bulldogs came out and just put it on Mountain Home, and they're going to win this one 46-0. Your Mountain West Bank postgame show just around the corner. We'll have it for you next here on North Idaho's Radio and Rock 103.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
It's what I wish I knew about stats. We
get some math done this weekend. Get ready to go. There's some math homework you need to do. Your dad's here it is, right? I'm going to have one of this report. So we're going to